that's good. It's not really that he needs his prescription filled, but that he needs to be having a provider. So I'd rather him see the provider, even if the prescription isn't sent to the pharmacy yet, because he does not have a provider and he does not have a medical doctor. He has no primary care physician, and he needs to be getting Social Security because he's most definitely disabled. Okay, so he needs to be seeing someone regularly. Okay, it was a courtesy that the psychiatrist saw him so that he could get his prescription filled. Okay, that short of an appointment, there's not a possible way that that's going to be like a psych eval unless she already like did it. Right. He needs this stuff documented for Social Security. It's not someone pretending he's bipolar. He definitely has brain injury. Okay. He wasn't even, he went to the restroom and then he went outside to smoke a cigarette. So I said, this is his wife. And then she wanted him to call her back. I go, I'm actually his healthcare proxy and his POA. So is there any way that you can, and then she said she had to check something and came back. Okay, so he is not able to do that. Like I made him call to make the appointment. Okay. And I thought he was going to be seeing a psychologist. I guess it's a social worker. Okay. So if that's what they can provide, that's what they can provide. Well, the issue is getting him the actual help he needs. Okay. It could be a social worker that knows a lot about drug addicts. Okay. He is a drug addict. He is manipulative, but he also has brain injury. He asked me, I believe it was this morning, or he asked me, how do we know, and I don't want to say the man's name, a mutual friend. How do we know this mutual friend? Because I explained about a week ago about him beginning to talk to two of our friends about the warming center over the winter and that that's not bad. He totally doesn't remember things. Okay. It's September, okay, and we were just in a warming center with this person in April. Okay, that is where we met him. And Brian, because we sleep in the same area, and Brian had offered one of those emergency blankets and stuff because he had a concern about him. Okay. Um, so he doesn't remember that. Right. He doesn't remember when he met him, how he met. And he was not using when we went to the warming center. He was still taking Adderall, but he wasn't drinking. He seems irritated with me today because I'm just relaxing in the library. Okay, so at the campground, he was completely moping around and bored all the time because he was depressed about the apartment. So and plus, I think it's because he was frightened to come back here. So I think he feels a little bit more comfortable because it's been a couple of days now. It's been 2 days, right? Okay. It's been 2 days. You got a couple of familiar people around him that he does recognize when he sees them. Okay, but he did admitted to me he doesn't know how he knows him. So I noticed at CVS that they said, it says on here that there's something wrong, and he still didn't explain to the pharmacist what was going on. Apparently, he didn't explain it to the psychiatrist yesterday, and he didn't explain it to the pharmacist last night, even when she asked. So I'm not sure if that's part of, right, that's why people talk to me. Because had he talked to that person, this appointment wouldn't even have been scheduled. I just know it from what happened when we were at the campground. Because he was asked about setting up an appointment, and he said he didn't need that because he thought he was moving into the apartment. Okay. So that's why he had to call them back. I just felt it was better so that they knew that he actually wanted the therapy. He Everybody talks to me. They don't even ask. I just talked to Social Security again today. Okay. Like, they'll find out when they examine him, especially if they give him a good examination. He'll tell you he doesn't know, because this is what's good about it. Trazodone is not a narcotic. That's what it was about. Right. Trazodone is not a narcotic. It wasn't even about the gabapentin. Okay. Right. Because disabled people do that stuff. Okay, this is your opportunity to explain to her what's going on, and he still doesn't do it, and I just stand there because I don't want him to get mad. Because in some respects, it might be something like, um, right, she asked, was it lost? And he said, yeah, which is a lie, which I don't like. Okay, so all of this needs to be discussed with his provider, because he's not seeing the psychiatrist as a courtesy until next month. She set that appointment up in case he didn't get a provider. Right, not she's going to keep giving him psychiatric services. It was a courtesy because he does not have a provider, and they know I don't want him going back to Manning. Right, so I appreciate definitely the Volunteers of America doing that. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like this, because a lot of people that have mental health problems also use, okay, in terms of not being able to fully take care of themselves. That's part of not being able to fully take care of yourself. Right. You don't know how to call your provider, explain to your provider what's going on. You don't know how to explain to the pharmacist what's going on. And then your wife isn't exactly sure what's going on. So that's why it's good when they actually talk to me too. Even if I don't need to be present for therapy, that's not what I'm saying. Okay. But just somewhere someone knows, and I would have thought it would have been the psychiatrist yesterday, what dosage of trazodone he's supposed to be on. Because the piece of paper from the hospital does say 100 milligrams 3 times a day. So that's why the person has to be a provider and not just the therapist, because the therapist cannot change his prescriptions. Okay, the therapist can't change his diagnosis and can't change his prescriptions. I was told by my therapist, who's also a social worker. Okay, so that's why he needs the provider. And he didn't ask the provider yesterday. Because the insurance is apparently, for some reason, somewhere along the lines, he's getting 50 milligrams, and it's not enough. It runs out. I don't think I'm not a doctor, so I'd have to look it up. I'm not sure it's a danger level. It's just someone would need to find out if he's taking too much trazodone. Okay, he doesn't seem super tired today. Okay, so did he take his afternoon meds? I'll have to ask him. Yeah, because now it's nighttime. Sometimes I usually remember every single day, but I'll find out if he told me the afternoon ones, and this is another thing. He told me his afternoon ones are as needed, so that might actually be true. Okay, because the trazodone is for sleep, so you need to take it in the middle of the day, because it's an antidepressant as well, right? Okay. I have to sort of believe him now that he wasn't sleeping as well. But this is another thing too. He says to me, he's talking like his mind, and I'm present for it, that he's wondering if he can take the over-the-counter thing and the trazodone now. Okay, so get what I'm getting at? Okay, so hopefully questions like that will be asked by the therapist and the provider. Okay. I've been told by people, I should say a person specifically, who has a diagnosis and takes psych meds and is also an addict. Okay. She wanted people to know, she was stressing this, she wanted people to know that they do use, but they're also mentally ill. It's part of their mental illness. Right. They're over medicating on medication that's not a narcotic. It's just part of their mental illness. Just like I explained about the marijuana, the drinking, the marijuana. So now I'm a little bit concerned about other things. Right. So hopefully, God willing, those types of questions will be asked. Okay. Because to me, that doesn't make any sense. Okay. Once you got your sleep medication, you have all your medications, they're all current, you have enough for the month, okay? Why you would then even think in your mind, should you take the Benadryl with it? Or the thing that's Benadryl? What would cause that? All the time. Yes, I've been homeless a long time, all the time. Over medicating and under medicating, replacing, substituting their medication. So, because he wanted to take a walk, he's bored at the library. I think he does get bored at the library. So, I guess in a way, it's sort of exactly kind of what I thought. Like, how long is it going to take before he complains about being bored here as well? Right. Yesterday was a busy day, and I actually feel a little bit better because I didn't do as much today. I needed a little bit of a break. And then tomorrow, we got two things to do. Okay. And we're not going to the storage. I decided after yesterday how I felt that I didn't want to do it. So I'm not going to force him to sit in a library 12 hours a day. It's not about that. But sometimes, yeah, you don't really need to be doing all this running around. You really don't. Are you hungry or thirsty? Okay. So what are we taking a walk to? Just to take a walk? Okay, I'm not really feeling up to doing that right now. Okay. If you feel, he said he ate a bunch of food. Okay, is that going to get you through the rest of the night? I doubt it. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it, but the CVS does have some fashion of food, and we noticed it today. It has the things that he will actually pick out sometimes, and it's not that expensive. They have some of those like healthy mixes that have cheese and a meat and a fruit and stuff in them. He's not gonna stop. But yeah, from here you have to go to Porter. That's where the Star Market is. Okay, there is no regular grocery store here. There's one right by the library, and it's extremely expensive. And the food isn't even good. If you want a water or a soda, it's the price it is everywhere. But the food, no way. Absolutely no way. There's a Whole Foods, which is probably on the way to being closed, like for the night, a little bit behind the library. It's also sort of pricey. I've seen better Whole Foods. It's a city. So reiterating back to what I was saying, and it's not an attack on certain elderly people, okay, but these are the things. These are the things, okay. And then it's also being explained to you about all these people getting shut off of social media for what they're saying. So what it is it causes people like myself to become more depressed, and then it's making other people, like I'm talking about, living in some alternate universe that isn't even real. They have no idea what the sentiment is among people living in the country because we're all being shut down. We're all being shut off. Okay, so again, one of the things, and it is nice, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to stop doing it, but what am I going to do with the box of drinking glasses? Am I going to carry that somewhere? Okay, so the homies, this is why I explained it to you. This is why it's so awful and terrible. The homies that put themselves all in housing, okay, they're like systematically, slowly trying to get rid of their bills. Okay. And while they're doing that, they absolutely refuse to get us into housing. Okay. So once you're in housing like that, even when you're paying rent, you can use a food pantry. Some of these older people are getting vouchers for food. The churches are making them meals. The people leave stuff on the side of the road, and they just think everything is lovely, and everybody else is just negative and stuff. Really? We're just negative and stuff? Okay. That is not what you do when you're actually like happy and oh my God, what's with all these negative people? It means that you people generally are miserable, complain about everything, think everything isn't fair, and you're psychopaths and you get angry at happy people. That's what it means. Yes. You're in a parade show because you're happy that this is happening to people. Apparently that must have been your perceptions of us when that is not what we were doing. We actually were happy. So anyways, right, we can't get any of those resources. Oh yeah, people just put stuff out when you have housing, not when you're homeless. We can't even use a food pantry. I cannot put my storage. I have to carry around what I have right now. Okay, I'll explain it again. Why am I doing that? Am I sick? Am I a hoarder? Okay. Do you have coffee every day? Do you have coffee every day? If your income was $400 a month, okay, could you have coffee every day? Do the math. Go to a coffee place. Go to a coffee place. Look at how much it is and multiply that by 30. That's 1 cup of coffee a day. Go buy a soda because this is the other part of it because the coffee is cash. Shampoo, conditioner, some people have to have like other toiletries, soap, toothpaste, toothbrushes, razors, shaving cream, deodorant that you people love. So we have a silicone collapsible hot pot that boils water, 2 collapsible silicone cups, and we carry around coffee, sugar, and powdered milk right now because that coffee creamer stuff is terrible for you. I can't buy cream. You see the cost of cream? Would you buy one of those every single day and pour the rest of it down a drain? So do cream on your Snap card every day. Oh yeah, just the stuff at a grocery store. Must buy 5. Remember they were doing that to us with the salsa water at Star Market? Oh, that's because you already bought one. Okay. Yeah, you have to buy all 4 of them at once. So I'm supposed to carry around 4 liters of salsa water, coffee, a coffee pot, cream, and sugar? Anyways, he's probably wondering where the hell I am, so I better go back in there. Process faster, YouTube Live. There's a whole bunch of them at that place that smoke, by the way. There was a big to-do because people got caught smoking on the property and in their apartment, and someone smoking drugs inside the apartment. Oh, because they're out there at the bench off property smoking and they don't pay rent.